Hello again everybody, and here we are again for another round of English Championship predictions. It's been an interesting week over the last couple of rounds of results, the last 10 days, and we have some off the field news as well, which we'll come to as we work through the fixtures for this weekend. They're across Friday night and Saturday afternoon, and we start with two games on Friday night, the first of which is Coventry versus Preston. This one's been brought forward so that Coventry have an extra day to prepare for their FA Cup match against Maidstone on Monday. Coventry just slipping outside the top six, 51 points. Hull City have leapfrogged them with 54 at the moment. Preston close behind on 49, but got to get in soon, otherwise you start to lose touch with games starting to run out. But Coventry will want to just get back on track. Their goal difference is worth an extra point at the moment, being 14 against Hull 7. So a win would take them back into the top six, albeit maybe briefly. Preston need to try and haul Coventry back, obviously, otherwise their time will start to run out, as I say. I think home advantage will just take this one. I'm just going to give it to Coventry. The odd goal in 3, Coventry City 2, Preston 1. Then we have the big one, the top two, if you like. Leeds United versus Leicester City. And Leicester have a big red L in their column, in their form column for the first time for many a week, having slipped up, surprisingly, last Saturday at home to Middlesbrough. So they'll be wanting to put that right, even though they've still got a nice 9-point cushion, a healthy 9-point cushion. They won't want that reduced to 6. And then it starts getting a bit weak, a bit iffy maybe. You just feel the team encroaching on your space, as it were, because Leicester have had so much space at the top of the league for so long. They're going to go up, but they want to go up as champions. Leeds obviously more focused on Ipswich and Southampton. And I think it'll be a cracking game on Friday night in front of the cameras. A packed Cannon Road, under the lights. What more can you want? And I think it'll be Leeds United 2, Leicester City 2. So that's Friday night, and then we move on to Saturday. We start off at lunchtime on Saturday with Hull City versus West Bromwich Albion. Hull, 4 wins out of 5, and have really perked up in recent weeks. A good young manager in Liam Rossini, very well respected young coach, is doing extremely well, and they're 54 points at the moment in the top 6, and they'll want to make a mark. Now they've popped back in there. Difficult to make that mark against the team immediately above them though, West Bromwich Albion, who've had a couple of, they had a loss, didn't they, to Southampton, but they've been pretty resolute other than that. However, I'm just going to go with Hull's momentum, and I'm going to take the home advantage and the momentum to give them the win on Saturday Saturday lunchtime. To kick things off for Saturday, it'll be Hull City 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Then we move on to Blackburn and Norwich. Norwich again have just starting to pick their pace up, 51 points, just outside that top 6. Blackburn, I think now are just coming into mid-table safety, and they can sort of relax as the season draws to a close. They won't see it that way, but there's hopefully no real pressure for them to go down. They're too far behind to make the ground up on teams above them. I think Norwich's need for points will win the day, and especially their return to goal-scoring form of late. It won't be easy for them, but I'm going to go Blackburn Rovers 1, Norwich City 2. Next we have Cardiff and Stoke City. Cardiff City and Stoke City. Cardiff, mid-table, 14th, 41 points. One of the sort of few teams perhaps that are going to run down the clock on their season a little bit. Just almost certainly safe from relegation, with so many teams between them and the bottom 3, and too many points to make up in the top 6. Stoke still looking over their shoulder a little bit, especially with QPR and Sheffield Wednesday starting to just flex their muscles a little bit, possibly. We'll come to that a bit later. Yeah, I think this is both sides on a poor run of form. Stoke 4 losses in 5, Cardiff 3 losses in 5 and a draw last time out. So both sides will want to take stock of where they are possibly and what player recruitment even for as we go towards the close season for Cardiff in particular. So they'll be wanting to take stock of everything. I just think they won't want to, neither side will want another L in their form column, and I think they'll cancel each other out, and I think it'll be a goalless cancellation of each other, cancelling of each other out. So I'm going Cardiff City 0, Stoke City 0. Then we have Ipswich against Birmingham City. Ipswich now 3 wins on the trot, perhaps not overly convincing in those games. But they're winning them nonetheless. I say that because of that incredible match they had on Tuesday night at home to Rotherham. I did say that Rotherham possibly will be a dangerous side that probably people actually don't want to play because they can just go, they'll be just relaxing, enjoying their last 13 games in the Championship before, unfortunately, I think they slide into League One next year. And they certainly gave Ipswich a run for them, and equalising in the last minute or just into stoppage time, I think, and then Ipswich going down the other end and getting a winner and winning an incredible match 4-3. So Ipswich winning, perhaps not as convincing as they would like, but who cares at this time of the season or any time of the season? A winner's a win. They've shaken off those blues they had after the Maidstone game and stuff and the Preston game. Just a word for Charlie Mowbray, who has unfortunately Birmingham's recently appointed manager, who's unfortunately having to take around 6 weeks away from the club activity to recover from a health condition. So best wishes to him. And they were just starting to perk up. I'm sure they'll still perk up as they were under his stewardship. However, I don't think Birmingham are going to give him the pep he might need in his remote, wherever he is watching from. It's going to, I think Ipswich will continue their recent back to form run, and they'll take this match, I think, by 2-0. I'll give them a comfortable win. Ipswich Town 2, Birmingham City 0. Then we have Middlesbrough and Plymouth Argyle, and there always seems to be a lengthy trip at the moment for Plymouth. They're doing all their long, lengthy trips in one hit. Anyway, they're off to Middlesbrough this weekend. Middlesbrough, of course, fresh from their win at table-topping Leicester. They'll want to back that up. They won't want to lose that sort of momentum they gained and the confidence they would have gained from that. They are still in that group of teams that possibly have got too much to do, 10 points to make up over 13 games. With so many teams involved, it could be them in that batch of teams now in the middle that probably, there's a batch of 4, I think, who are probably, or a group of 4, that are probably just teams that everybody would like to play because they haven't got a great deal to go for. Middlesbrough being one of those. However, they will want to back up in front of their own fans. Their excellent win at Leicester just shows what they are capable of. Plymouth, yeah, they've been on a bit of an indifferent run. Let's put it that way. 3 losses out of the last 4, but they have had a tough run of games. So let's bear that in mind. But I think Middlesbrough will back up their Leicester win, and it'll be Middlesbrough 3, Plymouth Argyle 1. And next we have Queen's Park Rangers against Rotherham. There's me saying Rotherham would now be the team nobody wants to play. Queen's Park Rangers, a good win at Bristol City last Saturday. They're pretty good on the road. It's their home form that's let them down this season. So they'll want to put that right against Rotherham this weekend. And it's a real chance to haul Millwall right down into the bottom 3. Obviously depending on what Millwall do themselves, but Millwall really are going completely in the wrong direction. They won't need me to say that. And it's QPR that will see now they can see sort of Stoke City on 35, only just in 19th place, just 3 points ahead of them. So they've got to try and get this home form sorted out. And after last week's win on the road at Bristol City, I think they will, even given Rotherham's carefree approach to games. I'm sure they're going to enjoy it. I think QPR will see them off, and it'll be Queen's Park Rangers 2, Rotherham 0. Next we have Sheffield Wednesday against Bristol City. And as I say, Bristol City, one of those teams in that middle four, Watford themselves, Middlesbrough and Cardiff, that it seems that probably the four that you would handpick for a fixture against at the moment. They're probably too many points behind unless they make an incredible run to the top six. I can't see certainly Bristol City doing that. They just don't score enough goals. That's their real issue. Just 38 all season. That's just not good enough to be going near the top area of the table. So they're safe from relegation. They're one of your rock championship sides at the moment, 12th place. And just the sort of game I think Sheffield Wednesday would cherry pick, as I say. They had a great win last week, and they've had 2 wins out of the last 3. As I say, just starting to flex some belated muscles, if you like, and they'll see Bristol City as a team they would certainly think they could get the 3 points. And I'm going to give it to them. I think they just will. I think their desire to win the game, their desire for the points, is greater than a mid-table team at the moment, and a big crowd behind them after last week's outstanding win, a necessary win really, at Millwall last Saturday. They won't want to lose that momentum built from that and the confidence they took from that. So I'm going to go Sheffield Wednesday 2, Bristol City 1. Then we have Southampton versus Millwall. So back up to that top 3. Just a little footnote to the top, well, I say the top 3, second, third and fourth. I did a little fast forward just to see if they had to play each other. And one that caught my eye was the very last game of the season is Leeds United versus Southampton. Goodness knows what could be on that game. I suppose Ipswich will certainly want to have a say in that. But just put that one in the back of your sort of mind, really, as one to look out for on the very last day of the season. I think it's Saturday the 4th of May. Leeds United versus Southampton. Southampton, of course, will hoping it doesn't come down to that last match, and they'll have sealed their second spot. But a couple of interesting losses away at Bristol City and at home to Hull. 2 teams certainly Bristol City they wouldn't have expected to lose to, and Hull have been in some decent form, I guess. Still losing at home though, but Southampton do concede goals quite readily. But they've backed themselves to, as I've said in recent weeks, to always score one more than the opposition. That failed them again on Tuesday. But I think Millwall are just the team that they could relish playing against. The team completely out of form. Really feeling the pressure now from certainly Queen's Park Rangers and perhaps to a certain degree Sheffield Wednesday as well. So I think that Southampton will get back their scoring boots in a good way, and they'll chalk up a decent win, and it'll be Southampton 4, Millwall 1. 2 to go, and the first of those is Sunderland against Swansea City, and Sunderland are looking for their 3rd manager of the season, and Birmingham have done that as well, haven't they? So both those quite prestigious teams, if you like, have had 3 managers this season now. Michael Beale only lasted 12 matches at Sunderland. It just wasn't a fit. It wasn't a good fit, was it? It just didn't seem right from the off. He wasn't accepted. I say accepted by the fans. The fans just didn't take to him at all. And I read somewhere in one of the papers, if it is to be believed, that one of the recent losses, he gave himself a day off. The manager, that is, gave himself a day off, but made the players go in after a loss. So you don't win many friends like that with your staff. It's probably not the best management skill he could have come up with. However, Michael Beale is no longer the manager at Sunderland. And they've given it to an interim manager. Well, it depends on what he does, I suppose. But they've given him the last 13 games of the season to Mike Dodds, who's been in their backroom staff for a couple of 3 seasons. So he knows the players, knows the club, and they see him as the sort of the comfort zone to take them through to the end of the season. And they're not out the playoffs, but there's 7 points to make up now. A couple of losses back to back, which was the writing on the wall for Michael Beale. However, I think Swansea also, a lot of reds in their form column, 4 out of 5. So I think Sunderland, with the crowd behind them, perhaps re-energised a little bit with the off-the-field event this week, will give Sunderland the backing they need. And it'll be a narrow win, but I'm going for a win, as in, it'll be Sunderland 1, Swansea City 0. And finally, Watford and Huddersfield. Huddersfield had a couple of losses now, just as they were starting perhaps to think they had some daylight. Well, they have got a bit of daylight, a couple of points, but they won't want to. They won't want to let that slip too much more. And as I say, Watford, one of those teams, 4 teams in the mid-table section, who probably are the desired teams to play. So Huddersfield will fancy their chances. Watford picked up a win in their last match, albeit away at Rotherham, but nevertheless it stopped their run of losses. So I think both teams will settle, or say they wouldn't want to settle for a draw, but I think a draw will be the outcome here. It'll be Watford 1, Huddersfield Town 1. So there we go, another round of interesting matches ahead. Who knows what the league table will look like come Sunday morning or Saturday night. And I hope you all look forward to your sporting weekend. Enjoy everything you do, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.